Hello, everyone. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome, welcome, everyone on the YouTube end. We're just getting geared up. Like I said, I was going through my notes. We are going to be digging deep tonight. Let's see. Some more are entering the room. I hope that everyone has pen, paper, because this is going to not only be a regression session, but a journaling session as well. Please hit the like button as you come in so that YouTube doesn't kick us off or make the video fuzzy for your replay. Uh-oh, it's bouncing off. I'm gonna mute everyone for now so that my own voice won't kick back to me. Let's see. Well, that's okay. Don't worry about it. But anyway, we're going to be digging deep tonight. This session is only one session. I always like to do this type of thing in person because I like to lay hands. I like, if anyone has healing gifts, I like people to be able to lay hands on each other, hug each other, embrace each other, or anything such as that. If you want to cry, if you want to laugh, you can do all of that. This is a no judgment zone. And another thing I'd like to say is this is a private video, so please no one share the video because it's going to be speaking of some deep things. You do not have to share your experience if you don't want to. If you'd like to share it, please hold questions and comments or expressions or impressions towards the end in order for the video to flow. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So this session was inspired by the fact that we just finished a super moon, a full moon in Scorpio, and Venus is going into retrograde. Venus deals with that divine feminine energy, that fertility energy of our anything dealing with women's issues, even though this isn't just a video for women, but it deals with digging into matters of the heart space. So that's why I timed it like this during Taurus season. And remember, this session is just like going to exercise. If we go to the gym one time and we lift some weights, we're not going to see the muscle results in one day. So I encourage you to go back over this over and over again and to get into it before expecting it to be like immediate results. We are all responsible for our own individual results. I'm legally obligated to say that this does not take the place of seeking medical advice or psychological attention or things such as that, or psychiatric help. So I'm obligated to say that it's not a substitution for that, for legal advice, business advice, anything such as that. This is simply a place of catharsis where we can come and have a support system in order to detox some disappointments that have happened. A lot of people have been impacted by the COVID-19 situation, experiencing different losses or just inconveniences that just, they don't feel too good. This video is for anyone that has gone through a painful breakup and having trouble letting it go, going through some childhood challenges with a parent. With today being Mother's Day, it's also a very sensitive day because we still have that heavy Scorpio moon energy among us. So it's a good day to detox because sometimes we feel some type of way about Mother's Day, whether it's us being mothers ourselves, us judging ourselves for not always being the perfect mother or making the best choices, making mistakes, or is having certain things that we deal with, maybe losing a mother or mother not being there, mother not understanding, all types of things such as that. So that's also why I timed this emotional detox in this manner. Remember, this is like an exercise. Keep going back doing this over and over again. I'm going to be working from my notes tonight so that things will flow and that I don't forget anything. So we're going through the process like I did on my live stream, on my YouTube live stream, where I was talking about, during a new moon, a waxing moon, and a full moon, we like to manifest. We like to attract. I want a new car. I want a new business. I want a new apartment. I want to relocate. I want a new spouse and things such as that. But I don't have a demonstration. Pretend you have a gift box. And in this empty gift box, you want to add new things, new relationship, new car, new house, new this, new job, this and that. But in that box that we're thinking is empty, there's a situation where there is some crud in the box, crud from the past. So when we want to add something to that box, we're not going to enjoy it as much if there are things in our heart that are blocking us from enjoying it, adding it to our gift box. So this is why we do this exercise during a waning moon, to kind of clear out that dust and the cobwebs in our heart and in our mind, so then when we manifest the things that we want during the new moon, the waxing moon, and the full moon, we'll enjoy it more, because it is possible to receive something, achieve something, and get something and still not even have the peace of mind to enjoy it. There are many people who have all the money that they want, but they still suffer from loneliness or some sort of childhood situation, or they have the car that they want and they're still not happy, they're still bored with their life, they're still dissatisfied, or they're married and it's still not 100% fulfilling. So this is why we are digging deep, because everyone wants to manifest, but no one wants to regress, to go back and clean out those cobwebs. Everyone wants to do a spiritual bath to clean our aura, but I always say, what about the inside? Yes, we can fast and detox. We can do colonics. We can take sea moss and certain supplements, but what about the heart? Out of the heart flows the issues of life. Most of the decisions that we make are from the heart. Good evening, Andre Fantastic. True, I want to clean the deepest parts. Ashe. So let me advise you all on YouTube as well. Feel free to express anything towards the end of the video. Please hold your questions and comments to the end so that the video can flow and not be 3 hours long. Please keep it confidential. This is a private session speaking of deep things. Remember, you are not obligated to share your experiences. You can keep them to yourself, or if you want to share and have someone to talk to, then you can do so. That's why I like to do this in person. That way what's in the room stays in the room, but it's a little different due to the current circumstances going on in the world. So another thing I talked about in the YouTube live stream is everyone wants to tell us, oh, just get over it. Let it go. I'll pray for you. And it's dismissive. It's condescending, and it's giving the message, I don't know what else to say to you. So you could have gone through something or went through something, and if the person cannot relate to you, they will just tell you to let it go because it makes them uncomfortable to dig in things such as that, because everyone has their own crosses that they bear. But there is no button on your heart or your mind that you can just push it and bing, zippo, it's just gone, right? Has anyone been able to push a button and just let it go that easy? Anyone? Does it work like that? Anyone? It's not that easy. You can't just go bing and then it's like it never happened, like a factory reset, unless someone gets Alzheimer's and they forget, God forbid. So it's not just that easy. Oh, just let it go. Oh, just forget about it. How? Because what happens is when we let it go, hi Keisha, when we let it go and we forget about it, what happens is it's swept under the rug. And what happens is when it's swept under the rug, it turns into alcoholism. It turns into some sort of addiction. It turns into being mistrustful of people. It turns into us becoming the same toxic person that our own parents could have been in their own aspects and ways. And we look up and we're looking at ourselves like, dang, I'm acting just like my mom. I'm acting just like my dad. I'm turning into them. When you find yourself in your mid-30s and you're like, oh my God, I'm making some of the similar mistakes in a different way. So sweeping that stuff under the rug, it comes out in our relationships. It comes up in our sexual hangups. It comes up in fertility issues. It comes up in even men having prostate issues and even erectile issues due to holding things in and repressing things. It can set us into an identity crisis. So many things can happen when things are swept under the rug, and adults and different people tell you, oh, just let it go. You're just being bitter. Just stop talking about it. Because what happens is it's going to come out some type of way, whether it's, like I said, some sort of addiction or some sort of bad habit or some sort of mark on the self-esteem, to where we can put so much makeup on and take so many baths and do so much exercise, and it's still bothering us. Because there's plenty of people that are physically fit. They exercise every day. They jog every day. They lift weights. But what about their heart? So exercise is great, but it didn't help their heart. Going vegan is great, but what about the heart issue? What about the issue with people going on in the world that have been molested and they haven't told anyone? Happy Mother's Day, my dear. What about all of these different issues? What about rejection, being rejected I don't know, in third grade or in high school? Anything such as that is carried on the heart. And just see, like I say, just sea moss alone, just meditating by itself alone is only one part of it. So in this day and age, someone else is coming in the room. Good evening, welcome everyone. Happy Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day. Good evening. So with that being said, we can fast, detox, exercise, but it still doesn't deal with the heart issue. It still doesn't deal with the generational curses. It still doesn't deal with the sibling rivalry, the issues with the family and things such as that. It doesn't deal with the trauma. So you can be physically fit in your body. You can do all of these different things. Your aura can be clean to an extent, but your heart, matters of the heart, are just as important as what you put in your mouth and what you listen to, because you can meditate and those things that those pieces of tissue, that crud that's in your heart and in your subconscious, can block what you're trying to manifest, or it can sabotage it to where you get it and it doesn't come exactly the way you expected it. So that is, once again, that is the purpose for this session tonight. Let's put it like this, like when we let it go. I hope that you all can see what I'm doing. Good evening, Vanilla Bean. Good evening. Okay, if you take a piece of tape and you put it on your arm, I have hairy arms. I'm like a werewolf. This doesn't hurt either because it's weak tape. If I take a piece of tape that has a strong grip on it and I rip it off like that, ouch, it's gonna hurt, right? It's gonna feel a little sensitive. So if it hurts and somebody tells me, oh, just let it go, just let it go. Okay, so what I do is, in order to let it go, like say for instance, if it's a bad abusive relationship, okay, the abusive relationship has ruined me in some sort of way. I rip the tape off, ouch, that really hurts. It's pink, it's tender, it's annoying, it's agonizing. So what I do to hurry up and get over that agonizing pain is I go get another piece of tape, which is another relationship, and I just tape it onto myself, right? Rip that off. Ouch, it hurts again. First time I ripped the tape off, I never gave myself a time period to catch my breath. I never gave myself a time period to examine my patterns to what I'm attracting to myself. So I just put the tape right back on my arm and did the same thing again. So now I was injured at first, but now since I added someone else and that messed up too, now I've just made it even worse than it already was. Now my arm is really in trouble. So then I go add alcohol to the mix, rip that off because it's starting to ruin my life. Ouch. Remember, this arm has not healed yet. This is a hypothetical example. I add new friends that don't 100% mean me well, but they're good to pass the time, just to take my time off of what happened, whatever it is, hypothetically speaking. Ouch. They do me in, ouch. So over and over again, we're always self-medicating. What is it? Marijuana, ouch, etc. Whatever it is. I'm not judging against that or anything like that, but we use so many things to avoid digging into that painful area in our heart that's swept under the rug. And we just add more and more tape. But the more tape we add, the more band-aids we add, the deeper the wound gets and the more it hurts. It doesn't heal. So when people tell you to just let it go, just forget about it, and they don't tell you how, it's doing more damage. It's causing a deeper foundational issue in your heart. It's digging a deeper hole. It's making it worse. Whereas the people would encourage us to examine what happened on both ends. Examine what part we played to attract it or to cause it to happen, or maybe we didn't trust our intuition. If it's a 4-year-old innocent child, then what was the situation that the parent was not being responsible about? But there's a need to examine what happened before moving forward rather than just letting it go, because sweeping it under the rug and self-medicating is not letting it go. It's just pretending it's not there when it really is, because it's going to show up in other aspects of our life. So let's see where we are. If you all have your journals ready, is everyone ready? We are going to go into the past self exercise. Does everyone have their photos? or their pieces of paper, like photo from childhood. It doesn't have to be from childhood. It can be from a time period where it was just a messed up time period. Maybe it was an eviction notice or just a bad relationship. Whatever it is, go back to that time. Walking in now. Okay. Someone left a chat message. Go back to that time and think about it. Because tonight we are not going to focus on everything that ever happened to us. We're going to focus on 1 to 2 things. I advise to only focus on 1 per this session. That way you can just stop and examine that, because we only have a finite amount of time to do this. Hold on 1 second. I got another message coming through. Okay. So let's focus on 1 to 2 issues. I advise it's best to do 1. What if you have a sibling in the picture as well? That's fine. Just focus on yourself. You want to kind of zoom in with your eyes on yourself, Keisha. Focus in on that time period. So this is a childhood journaling exercise. You do not have to answer these questions out loud. You can go back and answer in detail a little more later. So let's get started. I'm going to call out the questions, and then you all can journal your own answers. Childhood exercise or past self exercise. First of all, before we begin, I want you to look at that picture of yourself as a child or during that situation. Stare at yourself with no judgment. Did you make a mistake or did someone else make a mistake? And just keep looking at that picture. Just send love to yourself on that picture. Like, girl, I really love you. Or, you know what? I'm not even judging you. I'm not judging the situation. You didn't know any better at the time, or whatever it is. Even if you were victimized, look at yourself on that picture. Very, very good. Look into your eyes. What was going on with you at that time period? Look deep into your eyes. Look deep into your eyes. Look at the type of clothes you have on. Look at your body language. Take your piece of paper and pen and write down what you notice about yourself on that picture. Are you the right weight that you want to be? What was the living situation like? What was the financial situation like? What was the emotional situation like? If it was back in childhood, what was that like? Who were the people around you? What smells do you remember? What's playing on the TV in the background? What kind of music were you listening to during those time periods on this one particular scene? What was your past self going through in that picture? What were her habits at that time? What time did she go to bed? What time did she get up? Etc., etc. You want to take note of this with non-judgment, sending loving non-judgment to your past self for what you did not know at the time. I'm looking off because I'm looking into Zoom as well. I'm trying to make sure I, have my attention on both cameras. What was going on during that time period? So, question number 1 is, make sure I'm not skipping anything. What were the most challenging experiences that you had during that scene in your life? What were the most challenging experiences during that time? Most heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, tear-jerking experiences during that particular time period? Painful. Did anyone tell you you were overreacting? Did anyone tell you that you were being a crybaby, that you should just shut up, just be a lady, just be a good girl? What were you being told during that time period? What were the people telling you? Was it your friends? Was it your parents? Was it a family member? What were they telling you? Did they believe you? Did they validate what was said? That's question number 1. And if you don't want to kind of go too deep in depth with the notes, you can just put bullet points about what you're going to write about when you're done with the session, because when we log off, you can go back and fill in the blanks if you want. If I'm moving too fast. Everyone on YouTube, please hit the like button so that we don't get kicked off. What was learned from those experiences? What lesson did you learn about yourself, whether positive or negative? Is it that, oh, good girls should just be quiet and should not say anything? What was instilled in you? What was the root that took place in you that affects you now? Were you told that you need to put others before yourself? That you didn't matter? Were you told that you were inferior because you're a chocolate girl? What was told to you? Or because some other reasons? Were you told that the boys were more important in the family than the girls? Were you told, oh, well, whatever happened, it was all your fault. If you wouldn't have done this, then that wouldn't have happened? What was being told to you at that time period? Number two, am I moving too fast? If I'm moving too fast, please put your hand up. Okay, good. Number two, who are the people that have touched you the most in that part of your life, whether negatively or positively? Who are the key people in your life at that time, either helping cause the problems? Thank you. Thank you, Kay. Who are the people that were causing the problems? Was it a bully? Was it a family member? Was it a sibling, a brother, a sister, a cousin, an auntie, a babysitter, daycare worker, school teacher, mean school teacher? Who was it causing problems? A stepfather, a stepmother? Who was causing those problems at that time? Who was making you feel unsure of yourself? Who made you feel uncomfortable and uneasy? Who did you get nervous around to where you didn't want to be around them? You just got a bad feeling about that adult or that person. But you were told that, okay, you obey this person because Miss So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so or Auntie or Uncle So-and-so is a good person. So you better be a good kid, whatever the situation is. Or if you're an adult, what was it that you did, that you ignored your intuition about in that situation with this key person, this bully or whoever it is causing this issue, this enemy, this hidden person close to you that caused some sort of pain, an ex? Number three, am I talking loud enough or am I talking too loud? Can you all hear me? Yes. Who are the key people that cause issues? Next up, what did you learn from these key people, whether positive or negative? What did you learn about yourself? What was the bad habit that was developed from stuffing your feelings about that person or that situation, whether it be in childhood or during just a past adult situation? Thank you. What did you learn? What was the knot that was tied from that situation? What kind of rope did you get around yourself? There was a knot that was tied. What was it? Next up, what was the happiest moment of your childhood or during that time period in your life, during that situation? What was a good point? Maybe you had a job that you liked, or maybe you had a friend you would hang with. Whatever it is, even if you wouldn't, someone wouldn't consider it positive. What was the good memories of that time period? I used to go party, and I used to have the best time of my life. What's a good point of that time period of that era? I used to get all A's, and my teacher would give me my favorite candy. We'd have parties on Friday in third grade. What was it? Yes. Now, moving forward, what was the saddest moment? What was the most heartbreaking moment? What was like the plot twist to where everything just hit the fan all at once? What was the worst day? Dig into it. Allow yourself to feel it. Remember, we're not putting it under the rug. Let's examine what's under the rug. Let's pull the rug back. What was the saddest moment of that childhood memory or that past adult memory that happened in this life? Peace, peace. Now, looking back, what positive can you take out of that? Is there anything positive about that situation? Even if it's like, I wouldn't do my child like that. I wouldn't go through that again. What did you learn about that? What's the positive? What's the philosophy that you can take out of that situation? If you could go back to your past self and she's crying inconsolably, she's traumatized. If you could put your hand on her shoulder, like, girl, we're gonna get something out of this. What would you tell her? What's the lesson that you would tell her? If your past self needed to talk to you, what would you tell her? Pretend that you are going back in time. You are hugging her. You're putting your hands on her shoulder. You're consoling her, and you're giving her advice. What would that advice be? What would you tell her? Would you tell her to just let it go, sweep it under the rug? What would you tell her? You are beautiful. Yes, those people were wrong, or yes, that situation was unfair, etc., etc. How would you validate her? Even if she did make a mistake. Even if she stole a cookie out the cookie jar, how would you go back and unconditionally love her past self and validate her and tell her how beautiful she is and how wonderful she still is and how worthy of love that she still is? Talk to her. Pat her, hug her. Even if you need to get a bear to reenact it being your past self, like a little teddy bear, console it. Or just think in your mind, girl, this is this, this is that. Encourage her. Encourage your past self, because she's still sitting there waiting on you. She was hiding under the rug. That day in your early 20s or in college or high school, elementary school, she's waiting on you. She didn't go anywhere. She's right under the rug. What are you telling her? What are you going back telling her now? How are you encouraging her? How are you loving on her? She needs you. She's been waiting for you all this time. And now on tonight, on the 10th of May, on Mother's Day Eve, after a super full moon in Scorpio in the year 2020, Master Year 2020, you are meeting with her again. And she has been waiting patiently for you to come rescue her, because no one else could do it. Now that she has your full attention, what would you like to tell her? Next up, were you satisfied, or are you satisfied, at that time period, were you satisfied with the family that you were born into? Or did you feel like a stranger in your own family? What was your family situation like? Was it great? Was it worth celebrating? Were there secrets? Whatever it was, were you satisfied with the family that you were born into at that time? Your past self. How is she feeling about her family right now? Or back then? How is your past self feeling about family? Friends, classmates, school teachers, or if you're older, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is. How did past self feel about the people around her, especially family? The core root, whether adopted, step family, or blood. Next up, let's examine how did she feel about her mother? How did she feel about her mother? Was it a great relationship? Did the mother enable her? Did the mother put husband or boyfriend or stepdad before her? Was the mother present? Did she help her with homework? What was the mother doing? How did mother make her feel at that time? How did she feel about her mother? Did she admire her mother? Was she afraid of her mother? Did she want to be like her mother? Play in her shoes, etc.? Next up, next question. What are the most profound lessons that your past self and your current self have learned from the mistakes of your mother, or either the good things about her? What lessons did you take from that? What did past self take from those lessons? And what did current self take from those lessons about your mother's good points and her mistake points? What was the most powerful lesson that you learned about yourself? Her mistakes, her talents, her good points, the things that made you happy about her. Most profound lessons. Negative or positive, or negative and positive. Next up, how does your past self or even current self feel about your father? Was he present? Was he there? Did he call? Did he visit? What was it like? How did he make you feel? Did he come in and out? Did he say he was going to do something and didn't do it? Did he forget? Did he put girlfriends or new wives first? Did he play favoritism between you and your siblings? How was that relationship like? Or was he just not there at all? Was he just like a ghost or a figment of your imagination? Now, the next question. What was the most profound lesson that your past self was impressioned by? What was the most profound lesson that your past self learned about men at that time? What did you think of men at that time based on how your father made you feel? What lessons did you learn? Past self only at this point. What did she think about men based on how she interacted and interfaced or didn't interface with the father? Thank you. Next up, what is the most profound lesson that your present self has learned about men based on the connection or the disconnection to the father? How did it make you feel? Did you feel you had to compete for his attention and his love? Did you have to do things to get him to say, oh, you did a good job. You're such a good girl. You're such a pretty girl. I love you. That's daddy's girl. Or was it just, oh gosh, these men are no good. You can't trust them. If you don't get it for yourself, then it's not going to be gotten at all. What lessons did you learn, present self, about men? How you interact with men? Do you expect them to not show up? Do you expect them to be there and be supportive of you like a daddy's girl? What lessons did you learn? Next up, who did your past self have the most challenging relationship with in your bloodline family or in your family that you grew up with? Who was the worst person? Was it an older cousin that bullied you? Was it a sibling? Who was the one that you had the most challenging relationship with? A step parent? The one you would just have so much friction with, or they would get on your last nerves, or you just were uncomfortable just to see them walk in the room, or you just felt some type of way like they didn't like you, or they didn't value you the same as other family members, or they didn't respect you, or they made you feel invisible. Who was that person or people that you had the most challenging relationships with? Next up, what are the most profound lessons that your past self has learned from the challenges with that particular person? Or if it's the same person from earlier, you can just make some more notes. Okay, next up, what character flaws was your past self struggling with? Was she having trouble being late? Was she having trouble telling the truth or speaking her truth? Did she have trouble standing up for herself? Did she like to fight a lot? Did she have anger issues? Did she gossip? What was the issues with your past self? What was she struggling with? Was she afraid? Did she wet the bed? Did she have nightmares? What were her so-called character flaws at that time? Without judgment, let's objectively record what the flaws were at that time. And as we examine those flaws, what caused those flaws? What caused her, in her innocent state from childhood, to become comfortable to hide behind those particular things, to feel better and to cope? Was she in survival mode? What was she going through? Thank you. Next up, what did your past self sabotage or mess up due to those bad habits and character flaws? Who was hurt by those character flaws? Did she just hurt herself? Did she hurt her younger siblings, older siblings? Who was affected by those flaws? And if you're seeing this back in childhood, how did it sabotage your life as an adult, as a young adult, based on the past mistakes that you've made? Next question. How did your past self, how did she feel about her body at that time period in her life when she was going through the struggle? How did she feel about her body? Was she comfortable in her body, comfortable in her skin? Did she accept her size, her height, her skin tone, her features? What was she told about herself? Was she confident? Was she celebrated? Next up, what opportunities do you think that your present self could have missed before due to these situations that have been holding you back, that have lived under the rug for too long? What opportunities could have been missed? Could it be maybe didn't give that good guy a try? Going to the college you wanted to go to because someone said you couldn't make it on your own, relocating to another city because everyone discouraged you. What opportunity did you end up missing or either sabotaging at that time period due to either feeling unworthy or discouraged by those around you at that time period, in that painful time period of your life? Next up, what does your present self not want to experience anymore? Like, I'm not ever going through that again. I'm not doing that again. I'm not drinking that much again. I'm not, whatever it is. What is it that you don't want to ever experience anymore in this lifetime? Something you wouldn't want your children to go through? What is it? Something that you wouldn't wish on a worst enemy? What is that experience that was swept under the rug? Next up, pretending you are a lawyer for your past self who is going to defend her. What are you going to do in your present state, your present self, to better ensure that those experiences never happen to her again? Or your children or other people? What are you going to do to defend your past self? How are you going to stand up for her? How are you going to go back and put your foot down and say, no more? This is not going to keep happening anymore. I will not tolerate this. I will not stand for this. This doesn't make me feel good. You don't have to write all that down. I'm just kind of further explaining. What are you going to do to avenge her? To better ensure that those things don't happen again? How are you going to be her advocate or advocate for other kids or other adults, young adults who went through that or made that mistake? What can you do to stand up for them, to prevent those mistakes? Now, moving out of the past self. This questionnaire is from my Ori workbook as well, y'all. Ori Finding Your Purpose workbook. Let's see. Let's move into the offender. Was there an offender? Was there a villain at that time period in your life? What would you like to say to that person? You want to cuss them out, hit them, slap them, kick them? What do you want to say to that offender or to that bully or to that difficult person in your life during that time period or that difficult parent? What would you like to go back? What would past self like to say that past self didn't say? What would she have liked to say during that time period? If she could go back and say what she wanted to say now, knowing what she knows, what would she say to that person or that situation? How would she have handled it differently knowing what you presently know now? What would you like to say to anyone that offended you, betrayed you, abandoned you, let you down during that time period of your life? And for the sake of time, in your journaling session on your own personal time after the video, I would encourage you all to write a letter to any offender. You can write a loving letter, a love letter to your past self and keep it. And you can also write a letter to your offender. What I would encourage you to do during this waning moon period for the next week and a half to 2 weeks, write that letter, read it over and over again for 3 days. And on the third day, burn it. Release it. Like I've said what I had to say. I'm releasing it. If they're passed away and you need to go to their gravesite and cuss them out real clean and good, go do it. Be careful with the measures. Make sure you're wearing your mask and everything. But whatever it is, write that letter. If you think it would be messy to send it to the person if they're alive, maybe not, but burn it. If you'd rather not share it with them, just burn it. After 3 days, read it over and over. Say all that you need to say. Imagine yourself looking that person in their eyes and saying everything you want to say. Letting them know what you will and will not tolerate, depending on the situation. Next up, due to time, does everyone have their old clothes from a negative experience? Does everyone have their old clothes? I think I put that in the notes. I can't remember. If you don't have an old item, or even if it's not a piece of clothing, if it's an object such as, I don't know, a pen, whatever it is, if you still have something that reminds you of a bad period in your life, I encourage you to get it, cut up that dress or that shirt or that Mickey Mouse cap or whatever it is, or that object. And if you're able to safely either burn it or just let it go, just cut it into pieces. And as you're cutting during this waning moon, you can throw it in a trash can, either away from your home or just out in the street. But you are loving and preserving your past self, but the memories tied to that object, that dress, that book, that pen, that whatever it is, that mixtape, you want to divorce yourself from those bad memories. And you can do this on your own time. Please be careful with fire safety. Okay, so now we are moving into the regression. I'm a little nervous about this part. Is everyone participating in the regression? If you are, please raise your hand. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Please give me a 1 on YouTube chat if you're participating in the past life regression. Remember, if you're uncomfortable with the regression, you do not have to participate. If you don't get any impressions, that's okay. Keep doing it over and over. I suggest, I'm always suggest fasting for more clarity. But if you don't get any impressions, that's okay. Just go for the lessons. Once again, I repeat, if anyone is uncomfortable with that, or you just want to see, or whatever it is, you can log off if you're uncomfortable or you don't believe in that type of thing. You're at your free will. Okay, give me a second to cue the music. Okay, everyone can relax. You're going to be either laying down or laying back. You want to get real comfortable because you're going to be closing your eyes. Let's see. Just 1 minute. Is everyone comfortable and relaxed? Set your intention. Remember, we're focusing on one thing. It does not have to be any trauma in this life. Yes, you can go ahead and light your candle, Keisha. Yes, thank you. Just 1 minute. Set your intention. What do you want to focus on in this one thing? Set one intention. I hope y'all can hear this. Eyes closed. Eyes closed. You can feel free to shut the camera off if y'all want to. I'm not going to be looking at y'all. I'm going to be looking at my notes. Okay. Now, turning that off. Let me turn my light down so I can get my own move going here. Okay. Everyone sit straight, well, lay straight or sit straight, straighten the body. Straighten the body. Relax the shoulders. Relax the shoulders. Close your eyes if they're not already closed. I'd like for you to pray for 2 minutes for peace, psychic protection around your aura and in your home for you and your family, and begin to set your intentions with your ancestors and guides. Relax the shoulders, eyes closed. Praying for 2 minutes to set your intention. If you're not aware of your intention, set your intention for your highest good, what you would like to be revealed. Remember, if you don't get anything but a lesson, it's okay. You are absolutely safe and protected. Continuing to pray to your ancestors and guides, Creator, setting your intentions. We are relaxing our body. We're leaving out of that past situation. We're leaving out of the troubles of the present situation, and we are just becoming neutral. We are now in the realm of neutrality. Relax. Light as a feather. Light as a feather. Now that we have set our intentions. Let me turn this down. Take deep, slow breaths. Relax with every exhale. Relax with every exhale. You are safe and sound. Keep going. Inhale. Take a deep breath in. Hold for a few seconds. Breathe out totally. Push it out. Push. Inhale. Inhaling peace, clarity, direction, and intention. Inhale love and peace. Now exhale fear, doubt, pain. Exhale fear, doubt, pain. Push that out. Push that pain out. Push the trauma out. Out of the body, out of the lungs, out of the heart, out of the stomach, out of the esophagus, out of the lungs, out of the throat, out of the mouth. Blow it out like the winds of Oya. Expel it from your lungs, out of your mouth. Exhale worry, confusion, and doubt. Once again, inhale peace, love, clarity, and set intentions. Exhale fear, trauma, doubt, he say, she say, media say, and release. Exhale all lies told to yourself, all illusions, everything under the rug. Exhale it out. Expel it with this waning moon. Inhale clarity. Big breaths. Exhale doubt. Exhale fear. Exhale worry. Exhale any issues that have challenged your self-esteem up until now. Exhale skepticism. Inhale love again. Surround yourself as you inhale with the color of pink, rose quartz pink. Let it surround you and fill your entire body. Let it exude from out of your body and let it fill the entire room. Rose quartz pink, unconditional love surrounding you, feeling you, filling you, fulfilling you, and keeping you safe. Now, breathe regularly. Breathe regularly. Let your mind drift back to childhood, to that scene that you have set your intentions to see. Remember a particular event, a special event from that day. Let's think back on one day. Think about it for a minute and let it fade out of your mind. Let it fade. Let it dissipate. Now, focus your awareness on your heart chakra, allowing it to be in alignment with peace. Focus on the front of your heart chakra, aligning with the will of the Most High, your higher self, guides, ancestors, and current situation. Now, focus your awareness to the back of your heart chakra, the back side of it. Filling it with love, unconditional love, alignment, and peace to your highest good. Now, focus on your third eye, also known as your first eye, in the center of your forehead. Focus on the front of your third eye, filling it with light and that rose quartz unconditionally loving, objective energy. Focus now on the back of your third eye, the back side of it, filling it with that light, love, clarity, good intention. Call out to your pineal gland to take you on a little short field trip to your past situation. Now, imagine a beam of light connecting your third eye and your heart chakra. Send that beam of light out the top of your head, your ori, to the center of the universe. Don't worry about where that is. Light knows where to go and flow. Imagine a beam of light connecting your third eye and heart chakra. Send that beam out the top of your head to the center of the universe. Now, send light down to the center of the earth. Don't worry about where that is. Light knows where to go and flow. Top of your head, center of the universe. Now, take those lines of light and expand the light so that it completely surrounds you like the rose quartz energy. Inhale, light, clarity, unconditional love. Exhale, doubt and fear. Exhale, push out deeper and deeper and deeper. Imagine you're in a place in nature. Create a sacred space there. Are you in the woods, the mountains, the beach? Are you at a river? Are you in a cave? Are you in a garden, a park, a desert, a pyramid? Imagine this place clearly. Are you on a slave ship? Where are you in space and time? Inhale, clarity, light surrounding your pineal gland. Exhale and relax. Relax the body. Let light illuminate from your third eye to your temple, all the way to your brain. Feel your inner ears opening to hear the instruction of your ancestors and or guides. Open your inner ears to hear whispers or see impressions, to smell smells or feel things empathically. Let your muscles relax. Let your eyes sink deeper into your head. Deeper, deeper, deeper. Relax your jaw muscles. Relax your facial muscles. Let light flow into your throat, clearing your esophagus and passageways, your digestive system, speech, and lungs. Shoulders relaxed. Light flows down the back of your neck to your shoulders, to your arms, to your fingers, to your heart, to your stomach, to your genitals, to your legs, to your arms. Let your arms feel loose and heavy. Loose and heavy, all the way down to your feet. Loose and heavy. As light flows down your spine and your backbone aligns, gently let the muscles relax. Let gravity pull your lower back closer to the floor. You can sense the light in your lungs as they expand and release to the rhythm of your breath. Let your heart rate slow down easily. As light flows into your abdomen, you can feel old patterns, emotions, experiences, and dead situations loosen up. Loosen up now. Loosen. Loosen. In your bowels, in your colon, in your stomach. Loosen. Growths in the womb area. Loosen now. Loosen. Loosen. Detach from the ovaries, the fallopian tubes, and the womb. Loosen now. The light flows into your hips, your thighs, down your legs, to your toes. Relax your legs and feet. Loose and heavy. Loose and heavy. Loose and heavy. The next breath, you feel a soothing wave of peace entering the top of your head, flowing all the way down to the bottom of your feet. Relax, comfortable. You are safe and supported. We are here with you. You are not alone. You are safe throughout this entire process as I guide you through this meditation. Now, imagine that you are floating out of your body from the top of your head. Your body can take perfect care of itself, even if your awareness is someplace else, just like taking a nap and dreaming. Allow your consciousness to slip out of your current body through the top of your head. Your body, your human body, is safe and sound. Heart beating regular, breath functioning, you're perfectly fine. Now, imagine you're floating out of your body, and if you are a person that prefers to stay closer to the ground, then hover around your sacred space that you have imagined in nature. When I start counting backwards from 10 to 1, go downstairs instead to the basement. For everyone else, float up. Imagine floating higher and higher and higher. See how good it feels to float past the current circumstances, the bills, the arguments, time restraints, boredom, money delays, relationship delays, health issues. Float all above that, light as a feather. Light as a feather. Letting those things no longer concern you for the time being. Look down at your sleeping, resting self, meditating peacefully and safely. She's just fine. He's just fine. Now, soar higher and higher through the clouds, beyond the clouds of the setting sun of today, May 10th, till you finally reach outer space. See the stars twinkling just for you. You are now in outer space. Your consciousness is now in outer space. Look at the beautiful stars. Do any of them stand out to you? Look down. Can you see the planet Earth beneath you? How far are you? How far have you ascended from planet Earth at this time? I'm going to count backwards from 10 to 1. And as I do, float back to Earth, but not your present life just yet. As you float, and as I count, you will feel more intensely relaxed as you did before. When I reach number 1, your feet will land gently on the ground to a different time and place. A different body, but it's still you inside. Be taken to the time and place based on the intention you set earlier, or whatever your highest good is at this time. Float back to the earth. You're floating, descending, 10 times as relaxed as before. 9. Continue to descend deeper and deeper into the peace and calm. 7. Allow daily awareness to drift away for a while. Your conscious mind doesn't need to be a part of this process. It will be waiting for you with clarity when you return. 6. Relax more. 5. deeper, deeper, 10 times deeper. 4, you are safe and supported at all times. 3, counting to 3. You're connecting to a different dimension of time and space. 2, feel a different body forming around you. You may notice a slight tug of gravity as you continue to float down, down, all the way down. Let your feet land on the ground and notice what's on your feet. What's on your feet? Are you female? Are you male? What do your toes look like? Looking up, what clothes do you have on your body? How old are you? Are you inside or outside? What is the setting like? Is it in nature or a building? Are you in a hut? On a boat? In a palace? What is around you? Is there art? Books? If you're outside, what's around you? Trees? A garden? A field? Are you on an urban street or are you in the country or someplace else? Notice your environment. Where are you located? Can you tell where you're at? What century are you in? Are there others there with you, or are you by yourself? If there are others with you, look into their eyes and sense their energy. Do you recognize anyone from your current life that is in a different body as well? Pay close attention to the details of the person. What do they look like? How are they treating you? Are they smiling at you? Frowning? How do you feel around this person? Notice the action going around you. What's going on? What's happening? Are you taking part in the action? Take your time observing the scenes. Keeping your breathing regular. Inhaling, exhaling if you need to. I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And as I do, I'd like you to move forward in time when you're older or backwards when you were younger in that lifetime. When I reach to number 3, you will be at an important or clarifying event in that lifetime. 2. Number 1, you're moving forward or backward in time, older or younger. Number 2, impressions are flowing in easily and gently, getting stronger and clear. What impressions are you picking up on? 3, next important event in your lifetime. How old are you? Where are you at the second scene of your life? What's happening? What's about to happen? What is your intuition telling you about the situation? Are there others with you in this scene? Do you recognize anyone from your current lifetime? If there's anything else important about this scene, become aware of it now. Shifting the scene, Let's look more at scene number 1. You're moving forward or backward in time to another important event. What's happening? How old are you in that scene? How do you feel? What are you doing? What are you wearing? Do you sense anything? Do you smell anything? Taste? What's going on? If there's anything to see, become aware of it now. Number 2, impressions are flowing in easily, gently at first, getting stronger and clear. Now you're moving forward to the time right before your death. Your death in this past life. Number 2, impressions are flowing in easily and gently at first. Now they're getting stronger and clear. Now look observantly at your past self right before your death. There you are. Become aware of the circumstances of your death. How did you transition? Is anyone with you at your death scene or on your deathbed? What lessons did you learn? What lessons did you learn in that lifetime on your deathbed? If you would like to bring these lessons to your current lifetime, do so now. If there is anything from that past life you would like to release or transform, an energy pattern, bad habit, pain, emotion, tendency, toxic emotion, or blockage that has affected you in your current lifetime, if you would like to let it go, release it now. Use your breath to exhale and let it go. Use your breath to breathe it in and breathe it out. As you inhale, bring in strength now. Number 5, you will emerge wide awake, feeling refreshed, lightweight, and enlightened. 2, 1, you're coming back to your current body with the lessons, leaving the toxic patterns or bad experience behind. Be open to your dreams, daydreams, images, names, impressions, and messages. Be gentle to yourself for the next few days as impressions come through and epiphanies and visions. You will remember everything that happened. You will remember everything that happened consciously. You will feel vitality returning to your mind, healthy and clean, as your heart and mind and subconscious heals. You're all the way back, wide awake and refreshed. Feeling great. Take some relaxing breaths. You may now awake, letting the experience integrate into your body. Coming back into the top of your head, integrate wide awake. You may now awaken. You may now awaken. Is everyone awake? You may now awaken. Ashe. Thank you. Please let me know if you're awake. Alicia, you may now come into full consciousness. Amanda, you may now come into full consciousness. Back into your body, awake. Back into the top of your head, descending into your current body. Thank you. Everyone, let me know if you're awake. Danielle, Alexis, are you awake? Amanda? Amanda? I want to make sure everyone's okay. Alicia? I think I have some that have napped. I want to make sure everyone's safe and okay. Alicia and Amanda, you may now awake. Alicia, Amanda, you may now awaken. I think they have fallen asleep. So now at this time, everyone who is awake, please write down everything that you remember at this time before it fades. Please record what happened. What impressions did you get? Did you see anything at all? What lessons did you learn? Did you see a spirit guide, an ancestor, an experience? You may now take note of that at this time. I think I have some nappers here. I'm going to have to call them after we log off, but I will go ahead and proceed with the class so that I don't take too long. You can now record everything that you remember, and then we can discuss it if you'd like to. Giving you all a chance to finish your impressions. Okay, is everyone ready to share or to come back together? Please give me a 1 or hold your hand if you're ready. Please give me a 1 on YouTube if you're ready, or if you're still journaling, it's okay. Thank you. Let's see, I have 10 in the room. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna give a couple of more minutes. If you're not able to, if you need to write more, just put some bullet points to remind yourself of what you got. Okay. So let's share if you all are able to. Is everyone ready? Shazia, Alexis. I hope I'm saying this. Miss Chandler. Okay, awesome, awesome. So let's share. If you all want to turn the camera back on so that we can see each other's faces, that would be great. Ashe, beautiful faces. Ashe, welcome, welcome back. So how was it? Did y'all get any impressions? Did y'all see anything? I'm interested. If anyone saw anything, let's put a hand up. Anything? Nothing? Okay. Okay, would anyone like to share? Thank you. Okay, would anyone like to share their experience or any messages that they got? Let's see. Let's see. Would anyone like to share? Feel free to unmute. Let's see. Would anyone like to share? Please hold your hand up. We had to go through it in an expedited process. If you didn't get anything, it's okay. If you got a message, okay. Winnie Clark says she saw a lake. Okay. Will anybody share anything that you have gotten from the meditation, even if you did not regress? Ashe, okay.
I don't know. What I got, I was like a small girl, 7 years old, walking down like this dirt road, holding an older man's hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back to even when I was younger. I was in the arms of a woman, but she looked like she was my grandmother, but she looked like my mother.
Mm-hmm. Ashe. Was it a pleasant experience, Shazia?
Yeah, it was pleasant.
Okay, so you did see something. What was the conditions of the death scene? Did you see anything such as that?
No, not really. I think I was of old age. I don't know how I transitioned though.
Okay, Ashe. Everyone, I'm gonna start with Zoom first, then I'll come over because I'm gonna have to read your chats and they're gonna fade quick. So please hold your commentary until I get over to Zoom. Give me just 1 second, please. Okay, yes, Alexis, the replay is available on the YouTube link that's sent for the class. Okay, would anyone else like to share? Feel free to unmute if you'd like to share.
Okay, I'll share.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember seeing anything, but immediately after I woke up, or I came out of it, one of the things that came to me, and it was just something that popped up on my phone that says that I've been criticizing myself and experiencing a lot of unforgiveness for years, and it's now time for me to start believing in myself.
Ashe.
And take back my own power as a woman,
yes,
as a person. Because I possess a lot of the power already within me.
Ashe.
And to forgive myself for past experience. So it was just ironic. I don't remember anything during the meditation, but that literally, as soon as I woke up, that came to me to stop criticizing myself. I've been criticizing myself for years.
Beautiful.
And to release that and stop doing that and forgive myself for everything that has happened in the past.
Beautiful. One thing I would like to say is sometimes if people do a regression, they don't regress always the first time. Has anyone done a past life regression before? Anyone? Okay, sometimes the first time you may not regress. I should have remembered to advise you all, it's better to do it kind of on a semi-empty stomach. And remember the replay, Ashe, the replay will be available to you all so that you can go back and practice on your own. But I do advise you have at least someone there if you're able to, so that everything is all good. Maybe some more impressions will come to you all tonight when you're in the tub or anything like that. Certain things shall pop in your mind. Sometimes the first time you may get impressions or lessons more than anything else, but keep trying. It's like a muscle. You continue to work it and work it. Some people regress better in person when they're in that room, because we are on camera right now. We've got these elf waves around us. So don't make a judgment if you did or didn't. It's okay, as long as you got something out of it. Okay, would anyone else on Zoom like to share before I go over to the live stream on YouTube? Okay, Alexis.
So when you had
when you told us to like float up into outer space, the lower part of my spine felt like really loose and just very like I felt the most comfortable. And when you said to come down to earth and be in a different form, I was still a woman and very like nicely dressed in this condo with all windows. And at first it looked like an office, but then it was an apartment. But I just was running around this really big apartment and just searching for something that seemed like I just couldn't find.
Did it look like it was in the past or the future?
It was kind of like more futuristic.
There is such thing as future. I don't know if you would call it regression, but they do have things such as that. That is possible. So, what impressions did you get, or what messages did you pick up? Give me just 1 second, everyone. I'm coming right over to you all.
Yeah, it just really made me feel like, something I've just been working on is just doing the work for myself, with myself, by myself, and just loving myself. Like figuring out how to do all of it.
Yes.
Like that, like searching and running, just trying to figure out how to be there just for me.
Beautiful, beautiful. Ashe. Anyone else? Would anyone else like to share? We have Alicia and Amanda still sleeping. Would anyone else like to share? Miss Chandler, Danielle? Ashe. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to the live stream. And if you all would like to type in your impressions, I'm now able to see them. Remember, they fade quickly. So I'm open to hearing your impressions now at this time if you would like to share. Would anyone like to share their impressions? Because they faded really quickly. I'm going to have to go back into the chat stream and see what you all have applied. I know someone said they saw themselves at a lake. Remember, it's okay if you don't regress the first time or this time. We are on Zoom. It's okay. You can do it over and over. Okay, Alicia and Amanda should have some great story. I know. Isn't that right, Keisha? Unless they've taken a nap. I've seen people fall asleep in past life regressions and they start snoring. So it happens. Plus, you know, if you're at home, you're more relaxed. So tonight I suggest that you don't have to, it's just a suggestion, sleep in white. You can keep a dream journal near your bed or your favorite crystals or talismans. And when you keep this dream journal, what impressions do you get right when you wake up in the morning? Or if you didn't dream, what's the first thing that pops into your mind before your feet even touch the floor to the bed? Okay, yes, thank you, the goddess. Okay, I saw myself in the ancient time in the field with high grass and a basket and head and hip. Okay, that's beautiful. Did you see your death scene? Let me know if you saw your death scene. Please type it to me. So, as well, let's see, hold on 1 second. We have a few more things to do before we close out for the night. I hope I'm not keeping you all too long. I look forward to you telling me if you saw your death scene, my dear. So, let's do the promise to your future self. If I'm going too fast, yes, I was stabbed in the chest by a woman. Wow, the goddess ink. Wow. Wonderful. Feel free to email me if any impressions come afterwards. I look forward to your feedback or anything that you get afterwards. Sometimes epiphanies and things come after. And if nothing else, do we keep the candle lit? You can go ahead and turn the candle out, please, for fire safety. Thank you for bringing that point up. Sometimes that first time, remember, it's like a development muscle. If anything else, you can pick up impressions from ancestors' guides in your dream state. Oh, yes, I'm so glad you're back with us, Amanda. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome. How are you? How was it? How was it, Amanda? My death scene was an old woman surrounded by family and children. Beautiful. How do I pronounce your name, Miss Chandler? Nishiki. Nishiki. Oh, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Nishiki. Amanda, would you? I'm sorry.
And I only went back during the death part, but everything else, I got the message that it was forward.
Okay.
And I had 2 scenes by water. One was beach, and one was literally sitting at the side of the river watching the water.
Wow. Do you know what continent you were on?
That's a good question. So in the future scene, it was first Brazil came to mind, and then Vietnam came to mind. So
oh, wow. 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 profound. Does anyone else care to share before we go forward with the promise to future self? Anyone on YouTube, Zoom? I'm going to have to call Alicia and wake her up. Okay, so now, if you miss it or if I talk too fast, feel free to go back and watch the replay on the YouTube link. This is your promise to your future self. And when I say future self, I don't mean in the future with the Jetsons. I mean by the end of this year. Let's make a promise to ourselves of something we want to do better emotionally. Not a financial goal. I mean, it's okay to have the other goals as well, but let's set an emotional goal based on something that we have swept under the rug, something that you want to have improved by the end of this year. And remember, it's like a muscle. You got to keep working it and working it and working it. And if you want to try the past life regression again in a safe space on your own time, always feel free to go back and look at the replay of this video. So let's look at the promise to your future self. If you'd like to write your own tailor-made version of this, you can do that. This is just kind of a template that I have created for this purpose. So I'm going to read it out. By the end of this year, I pledge to make it my emotional goal to heal either one of the two following things that have been weighing me down. I am changing my perspective on what happened and what could have been different. I am no longer limited by what was said, done, intended, and not intended. I honor myself. I honor my boundaries, and I choose to have people in my life that encourage me and mean me good. I release anyone that I have loved that hurt me time and time again and meant me no good. I release anyone that didn't validate me, didn't believe me, left me, betrayed me, lied on me, or violated me. As I manifest the life of my dreams, I am flying higher without the weight of this mess on my flight. Excuse me. My heart is light as a feather. Am I going too fast? Am I going too fast? Y'all can go back and look at the replay. My heart is light as a feather. As I have said what I needed to say to my past self and my offender. Remember, this is like an onion. It's like peeling back layers and layers. At a different time, you can go back and to a different situation in your life. Maybe it's a different scene. Yes, okay, Keisha. You can go back to a different scene. I'll go back and I'll read it one more time. You can go back to that scene and do a different scenario. We'll have other sessions like this. I like to do this kind of stuff in person. I feel like it's more because you can feel the energy in the room. But this is the best that we can do with quarantine. But this is something that you can do to yourself. What do you want to change emotionally for yourself or heal by December, by the end of this year? Make that promise to yourself now. I'll read it one more time before I go forward. By the end of this year, I'm going to just go ahead and read through it without pausing. By the end of this year, I pledge to make it my emotional goal to heal the following two things that have weighed me down. I am changing my perspective on what happened and what could have been different. I am no longer limited by what was said, done, intended, or not intended. I honor myself. I honor my boundaries, and I choose to have people in my life that encourage me and mean me good. I release anyone I have loved that hurt me time and time again, didn't validate me, didn't believe me, left me, betrayed me, lied on me, violated me. As I manifest the life of my dreams, I am flying higher without the weight of this mess weighing down my flight. My heart is light as a feather, as I have said what I needed to say to my past self and my offender. Ashe. Yes, adunola13@gmail.com. Woo. Hold on, let me get from under my dress. That's adunola13@gmail.com. That's how you can contact me, my dear. Or you can DM me on Instagram. I'm kind of slower with Messenger to answer your question. Next up, so I encourage you all to go back and continue that letter to your offender. What you want to do is you want to go by your outline that you made earlier in this session, write the letter, read it for 3 days, burn it, and release it. My pleasure, my dear. Next up, you want to do the love letter to your past self in that scene. You want to write her a love letter, encourage her, love on her, along with the contract to yourself, the goal, the emotional goal that you want to have set by the end of this year. And as I always say, like when I do a fasting or detox program, I always say wear a theme color. So maybe you want to wear a theme color that deals with the emotional goal that you're going after in order to keep it in mind. You can wear a bracelet, or you can put a picture on the wall, or you can write on your mirror, or put something up in the bathroom that always reminds you, I'm working on this emotional goal, to help heal this process so I can move forward, so that when I get the good things I want to attract, whether it be a relationship, a friendship, a mentorship, whatever it is, it's going to be more enjoyable and more rewarding. We want to be light as a feather. Light as a feather. So that is it for the evening. Does anyone have any questions, comments, any feedback, any improvement? I am open to it at this time before we close the session out for the evening. Would anyone like to add anything to the session before we close the circle?
So will the link be emailed to us to have the replay?
Yes, it's already there. Did you get the email today? It's right. The YouTube link is, yeah, that's it. That's the link. It's already there. Yes, replay will be available. My pleasure, my dear A. Brown 17. My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to everyone, to all of the mothers, surrogate mothers, grandmothers, godmothers, anyone, pet mothers, fur babies, etc. Happy Mother's Day. So was this session, was it effective for anyone? Did it help? Did it heal in some type of ways? Everyone relaxed? How was it? How was it?
I feel more breathing. Like I don't know.
Okay, that's good. It's a place to start though. So we want to pray for clarity and clear intentions. Would anyone like to add anything else? Thank you. Thank you.
This is Danielle. I thought it was a great session. I feel at ease, and I feel I have a lot more peace on my spiritual journey, and it just feels like a release. So I think it was a great session.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Not just the past life regression part, but before that. Thank you. Thank you, infinite being Doris. Thank you, my dear. Okay, with that being said, everyone have a wonderful evening. I look forward to, you all having more impressions within the next 3 days. Even if it's a divine idea or whatever it is, feel free to share, or it's okay if you keep it to yourself. No judgment zone. Remember, this video is confidential. I always say like, share, subscribe, but I won't say it with this one because this is a private circle. So that will be it. We can go back later and replay it. Yes, you may. Yes, the replay is available. You have the link here. So I'm going to close this session out. It's going to upload, and it should be ready within 5 minutes, if not before. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shazia. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Alexis, Danielle, Shazia, Nishiki, Sleeping Alicia, my dear, and Amanda. Thank you, everyone. Okay, good night. I'm going to close the circle. Good night. Good night.